Namaskar friends, welcome back to our channel Simplify Your Space. First of all, I hope and pray that you and your families are healthy and safe. It is a very tough time for all of us. Please stay safe and take care of your families and yourself. Today's video is on vegetable storage. I would highly recommend getting vegetables in slightly larger quantities than your regular purchases so that the frequency to step out in crowded places can be minimized. Buying in bulk has its own perils. If not stored properly, they get spoiled soon. In today's video, I will share my tried and tested ideas to store vegetables for longer shelf life. I've been following these ideas for years. These days, I store vegetables for almost 10 to 15 days without any wastage. So, let's get started. I buy vegetables both online and offline. I store them properly as soon as I get them. Some vegetables need to be washed before storage, like chilies, ginger, tomatoes, ladyfingers, etc. Other veggies can be kept as it is and washed later just before you cook. To clean, I would recommend soaking veggies in lukewarm water for at least 20 to 30 minutes. Dipping them in water for sufficient time will remove most of the dirt, germs, and pesticides from the surface. At this pandemic time, for more protection, you may take some salt, turmeric and vinegar and mix them in warm water and soak your fruits and vegetables for a good 30 minutes. Once done, wash them with normal water and air dry. This solution is a good way to get rid of most germs. I wash the leafy greens just before cooking. I place them in a large bowl of cold water with salt. Further, I thoroughly wash them under running water. Now let's store the veggies. For this, we need different types of containers. Plastic, steel, glass, everything works. If you don't have enough containers, you may also use a few empty ghee bottles and sauce jars. Idea is to repurpose all these use and throw containers. Also, you can use these type of grocery containers. Of late, I have switched to glass containers for storing grains and pulses. I utilize these plastic containers to store veggies. We also need a few paper bags, Ziploc bags, cloth bags and cling wrap to store different types of veggies. Let's start with lemon and amla, which is also called Indian gooseberry. For this, use any plastic or glass jar. Place a small napkin inside and then store lemon and amla in it. Paper napkin will help to soak the moisture present inside. With this, your lemon and amla will stay fresh and juicy for at least 10 to 15 days. For the storage of coccinia or kundru, we have two effective ways. If you just want to store it for next 2-3 days, store it in the fridge drawer wrapped in a paper bag. However, if you wish to store this veggie for a week or more, then use this type of large storage container. Lay a paper towel or small hand towel inside and then add the veggies. Using a hand towel is eco-friendly and reusable. You can also repurpose your old kitchen towels for this. Towels soak moisture and vegetables stay fresh for long. Let me show you my 1-week-old kundru. They have been in the fridge for the last 7 days and are still fresh. Otherwise, they become soggy within 3-4 days. For storing cauliflower and broccoli, we have two different ways. The first one is to wrap the cauliflower nicely with the cling wrap. The other way is to cut the flower into big florets. Just divide it into big florets like this. Don't worry, you won't lose much nutrition by doing this. We are not chopping it. Just divide it into big chunks. Now store it in any big food container with the towel placed inside. This will keep your cauliflower and broccoli fresh for 10 days. See, these florets are almost 7 to 8 days old and are still fresh and look good. Colocasia or Arabi can be stored in a paper bag and stay fresh easily for 10 days in the fridge. Carrots tend to dry up if directly kept in the crisper drawer. To store them for long, either wrap them in cling wrap or take any good airtight container and store them. In plastic containers, they can easily stay fresh for 15 days. These carrots were stored 15 days back and are still in good shape and look fresh. Lady fingers or bhindi should be stored in a thick paper bag. They can easily survive for 5 days in a paper bag. Alternatively, if you want to keep them for longer, then wash and dry them first. Then cut their edges. Now store them in a good airtight container. They will be fine for 7 to 10 days. Now let's see the storage for eggplant, capsicum and cucumber. If you get these vegetables online, say from the big basket, they come in these plastic bags with few holes in it. They are really good and help keep some specific veggies fresh for a long time. So these bags are really good for storing eggplants, capsicum, cucumber and radish. If you do not have these, then just take any good plastic bag or zip pouch and make a few holes using a paper punching machine. 5 or 6 holes are enough. And store these veggies in this. Alternatively, cling wrapping is another method for storing them for long. They can stay fresh for up to 15 days. The best way to keep bottle gourd and pumpkin fresh for a long time is cling wrapping. Sometimes we do not want to use the whole gourd, then half-cut gourd and pumpkin also stay fresh in cling wrap. Alternatively, just cut the pumpkins into big chunks and store them in a glass container. This way is very effective and keeps the pumpkin fresh for a long time. For beans, generally I use a cloth bag which keeps them fresh for long. Alternatively, you can keep them in a Ziploc bag or a plastic box. Tomatoes can stay easily on the kitchen counter. If they're very red and ripe tomatoes, then keep them in the fridge so that they don't rot. Also, if you have bought tomatoes in bulk, keep some in a paper bag and store them in the fridge. This method some way slows down the process of ripening and keeps tomatoes fresh for 15 to 20 days. To store drumsticks, wash and dry them first. Remove the edges and cut them into big pieces. Now store them in a glass jar or container. For greens such as spinach, fenugreek and coriander, I follow only one storage process. Remove the extra stem from coriander and spinach. Take containers and lay a paper towel or kitchen towel at the bottom. Now keep spinach or coriander on it. Place another towel on the top. For methi, remove all the leaves from the stem before storage. For mint, cut the mint sprigs. 3-4 connected leaves like this. Now take a muslin cloth and soak it in water. Squeeze the cloth nicely to remove all the excess water. Make sure the cloth is damp but not wet. Now lay the damp cloth and spread the mint on it. Wrap the mint leaves gently in a damp cloth. Place the mint in a container or plastic bag, not sealing all the way so that air can circulate. Do not wrap tightly, else it may crush the herbs or mold them. This is almost a week-old mint which is still fresh and green. For coconut, just chop them into pieces and store them in the container. In the fridge, they can last for 5 to 7 days and in the freezer up to 2 months. Now let's see how to store ginger and garlic. Clean the ginger nicely using an old toothbrush and air dry it. Now store the ginger in the container. Make sure it's dried properly. For garlic, peel the cloves, and if you have soaked them for easy peeling, then make sure to dry them properly. Now store it in a glass jar or plastic container. Same way we can store chilies and curry leaves. Just wash the chilies thoroughly and let them air dry. Remove the stem and store them in a container. For curry leaves, remove the leaves from the stem and store them in a container with a paper napkin placed at the bottom and top. You may also use this kind of box with 3 individual containers and store frequently needed items like chilies, curry leaves, coriander, garlic, etc. This also helps save space in the fridge and time. Taking help of various containers and storage items is quite effective when storing the vegetables for long. Yes, this method consumes the precious space in the fridge and it can be a challenge for small fridges. In that case, you can keep the veggies at least for a week. Right and longer storage of vegetables help in planning your meals and make your kitchen routines easy and quick. We also have 2 dedicated videos on meal planning. If you haven't watched it yet, please find the link in the description box. Thank you for watching this video. Please give a thumbs up and share this video with your family and friends. Do subscribe to our channel and follow us on Instagram and Facebook for all the latest updates and video notifications. Happy organizing from Simplify Your Space. Bye bye.